Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uranium Market Minute. My name is Justin Hune and I'm your host. I'm the founder and publisher of the Uranium Insider Pro newsletter, the only investing newsletter that focuses solely on uranium and publishes on a regular monthly basis. Thank you again for tuning in. Really appreciate you all being here. If you like this content, please subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and like this video and hit that notification bell, and you will be notified whenever we issue a new episode, which is almost every day. On that note, I will not be here tomorrow. So we'll see you guys again on Friday. Before we get into it, nothing in this video is intended to be investing advice. I'm not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Please always do your own due diligence when it comes to investing and always take responsibility for your own choices. Let's jump right into the daily scoreboard where we'll discuss the spot price of uranium, the flows into Sprott, and the ETFs. The spot price of uranium today basically flat, 47.50 a pound mid-market, ticking up, ticking down, chopping around sideways. Not a whole lot of volume here. It seems like we continue to see some backing and filling in the equities markets as the spot price sort of stagnates here. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust came into the day at a discount to NAV after staying most of the day yesterday at a discount to NAV. They did not raise any new capital because of this discount to NAV yesterday, and likely stayed at that discount throughout the day today, as we'll see in the chart, based on the spot price not moving, but the stock continuing to sell down a little bit. In my opinion, this is probably an opportunity for some arbitrage to start happening here. So I think this is probably going to reverse relatively quickly. Even though Sprott was out of the market yesterday in terms of raising capital, they did purchase yet another 300,000 pounds of uranium. This continues their average of around this 300,000 pounds per day over the last couple of weeks. It's just astonishing. This consistent bid in the market is really what we're looking at with Sprott, and this is really what the entire nuclear fuel market is having to adapt to and work around in some cases. They came into the day with 23.8 million in the treasury to buy additional pounds of uranium. And as I mentioned, they were at a 3.9% discount starting the day. They're probably closer to a 5% discount currently. That's just about the largest discount to NAV that they've traded at since the ATM went live. So in my opinion, this is a good arbitrage opportunity. Since August 17th, when their ATM went live, they've now raised 745.1 million, same as yesterday, as they didn't raise any more cash. But they purchased 16.7 million pounds. That's just about 9 weeks. And again, they had 23.8 million in cash in the treasury as of this morning. Likely didn't raise any more cash today. The ETFs, URA reported no new shares issued. URNM did report an increase of 100,000 shares outstanding. That created a mandated sector buying of 9.5 million of their underlying holdings. Overall, the AUMs actually dropped a negligible amount yesterday, 11.7 million. But the combined AUM of the two ETFs still sits at just under 2.3 billion combined. Basically, the AUMs of these two ETFs have risen in excess of $800 million month to date for October. Incredible. Let's take a look at the charts. URA had a pretty nasty day here, closing just off of the intraday lows, diving down towards that rising 20-day moving average. Overall, by no means a broken chart here, but definitely the sellers were in control. We saw a little bit more volume here. That's interesting. I also find it interesting that that is coinciding with the discount to NAV for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Perhaps there is some money that's going to come into both the ETFs and the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust sitting right above that rising 50-day moving average. I'm kind of curious. Let's take a look at Cameco. Cameco with a really interesting candle here, gapping down, being bought up and being sold back down. The momentum for the most part in the uranium market and across the resource markets and energy markets was generally sellers were in control today. I want to take a look at a question I'd like to address here in the mailbag. And as far as the charts go, I think that we are still in that consolidating, slightly moving down. A lot of the equities in the space building bull flags and sort of chopping downwards and sideways. I do think that we're close to a intra-cycle bottom here and likely to resume that uptrend with the seasonality move. If not in days, probably within the next week or so would be my estimation. Justin, I know you talk every day about the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, but I'm new to the uranium market and I saw news from Yellowcake PLC. Can you tell me who they are and what the news is all about? So Yellowcake PLC is a physical fund. It trades on the London Stock Exchange. They formed in 2018, and they essentially are similar to the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust in that their mission statement or their purpose really is to buy and hold physical uranium and give investors an option for exposure to owning the commodity rather than taking on the risks of purchasing shares in the individual mining stocks that come with all of the inherent risks. Of course, they come with upside leverage as well, but a lot of investors really just want to have exposure to the commodity because that's the case they understand best. And it's also, generally speaking, a much less risky investment than the mining stocks. They are unique in that their original deal that they announced when they first got started and it continues throughout the day now is that they have the right to purchase $100 million worth of uranium from Kazatomprom. Now, Kazatomprom, if you're not familiar, is the largest producer of uranium in the world. They produce about 23,000 tons of uranium, which is close to 60 million pounds a year. They are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to uranium production, and they are based in Kazakhstan, and they have this deal with Yellowcake. So Yellowcake does not have to buy from them. They don't have to exercise this option, but they have that option. They did exercise it this year. And again, they are based in London. So they recently announced that they are doing a $150 million raise for the purchase of roughly 3 million pounds of uranium, 1 million coming from Kazatomprom, and the other 2 million from a Chinese entity called CGN, China General Nuclear. Basically, what this means is that because Yellowcake is already, they've already exercised their option to purchase that 100 million from Kazatomprom this year, this raise is allowing them to purchase more pounds from the market, and Kazatomprom is willing to be the seller based on, probably the relationship that they already have with Yellowcake currently. The other 2 million pounds coming from China General Nuclear. Now, CGN, they operate the Husab mine in Namibia, and they also have JVs with Kazatomprom. Most likely, these are pounds coming from Kazakhstan. Either way, this is more production that is currently happening. This is not like incentivized production coming out a number of months or even years from now. This is pounds that are above ground that have already been produced this year that aren't coming into the market. They're going into this fund, and this fund, like the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, is essentially an end user. These are not pounds that are coming back into the market. So that's really what this means overall is we're seeing more entities come into the market purchasing physical pounds, and the entities that already have these vehicles established for purchasing physical pounds are buying more. It's, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust has really been stealing the show this year in terms of purchasing physical. And it's great to see Yellowcake come onto the scene, raise some more cash, and come in to buy some more uranium. That's going to be it for today, guys. I'll see you again on Friday. Like I mentioned, I won't be here tomorrow. If anybody is interested in checking out our newsletter, please send us an email, support@uraniuminsider.com. We'll send you a sample newsletter from previous month. And feel free to ask us any questions about that particular service that we offer. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.